Okay.
How you feeling?
I'm okay. I'm okay. Earlier was so it was crazy. Is all week long I talked myself through this, and I was like, it's no big deal. And then today I woke up like my heart was ripped out my chest, and not because of this, but it's just, that's what grief does. Mm-hmm. You got to roll with how it comes. You have no control over. You have no control over when it's coming, especially when it's someone that you love, the way you love them,
Right.
So, yeah.
I've been meaning to talk to you for a while.
I heard.
Yeah.
I heard.
Because
what took you so long?
I took a break from this.
Okay.
Because it was just too much for me. I was like juggling so much at the time, and a lot of people don't know. Not that I want people to know, right? But it was just so. I finally started to feel what it was like to actually grieve.
Okay. How long did it take you?
3.5 years.
To feel it?
To feel it.
From the initial. Okay.
Instead of me trying to avoid it and trying to like keep myself busy.
So that's what I was going to ask. Did you run? Were you? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's the one thing that I tell any and everybody. You can't run from it. You can try, but it's going to hit you.
Yeah, it's going to catch up to you.
Yeah, now everybody deals with it in their own way, and you can't tell anybody how to deal. Mm-hmm. But you're a prime example of it's going to get you. Mm-hmm. It's going to get you.
Yeah, yeah. And I didn't see that coming because I had people telling me how I should feel. Mm-hmm. So I started to question myself.
Okay.
A lot with it.
Okay.
So when we had first met, what was that, like last year? Mm-hmm. A year ago?
Yeah.
Before I knew that you were like dealing with that, I saw this look on your face, and it was like the look that I have. Mm-hmm. And I assumed at first, but I didn't want, I could tell that you were going through something, but I didn't know it was grief. Okay. Right? But it was just this, that's why I say I've been meaning to talk to you. But when you told me that, I was like, okay. Yeah. Because I see it. Yeah. I see you. Yeah. It's almost like sometimes, do you feel like you be having like this like numbness in areas like when you outside and just around people, like you just...
I just told a friend of mine today, I no longer feel like I belong. Everybody has their superpower. My kryptonite has been ripped from me, Those people I exhausted, meaning my mother and father, I exhausted myself to the extreme to make sure that they were okay. Mm-hmm. I always prayed. And I asked God to let me outlive them because I knew no one would bury them or take care of them like I would. For my situation, I'm the only child. My parents had me older. My mom died at 89. My father died at 79. I had a wonderful life. I don't have a get it out the mud story. I don't have, it was hard days. And, I don't have that. I was spoiled. Mm-hmm. I got a video. My father said, you ain't spoiled. You, what do you call me? He runt. He said you runt.
That's old school.
Yeah. And, my life was great. And I vowed to myself at a young age that I was going to make sure that their final days were just as, they didn't have to worry. They didn't have to question, was anybody there? Like I said, I completely exhausted myself with my parents. So, when it's like when you're in the midst of everything, you're busy. You got everybody around you, everybody trying to keep you afloat, everybody doing what they can to help you. And then when the funeral is over, everybody is gone. Now, this is the thing. The misconception is everybody's gone, but they're not gone because they're leaving you. One thing I realized, life got to go on. So these people who are holding you up during your most crucial time, guess what? They got to go back to work.
Mm-hmm.
They got to go back to paying bills. They got to go back to their families.
Yeah.
So no one actually leaves you. It's just like, I done held you up as much as I can. And then too, I had to realize, like, by me being the only child, the people that I had in my life were close to my parents as well. So not only were they helping me through it, but they were grieving not as much as me, but they were grieving the loss as well because they had become close. So it's like, not only does life go on, but they had to process
in their own way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was I got to go back and say this. I tell people now, when you have children, small children, be careful what you teach them. Be careful what you tell them, because you're instilling things in, because, you know, your mother and your father, if you're blessed to have both, or if you have one or the other, you know, they are the most influential people in your life. You know, you gravitate to everything that they say, everything that they do when you're young.
Yeah.
And I remember my father told me as a little girl, he said, you don't have nobody but me and your mom. He said, I don't care who come along, whatever. You don't have nobody but me and your mom. So that's all I knew. I liked people. I loved people. Mm-hmm. But my greatest loss, like, I never met my father's parents. They were deceased by the time he was 8. My mother, her parents were deceased. Both of them were deceased by the time I was 8. So I didn't grow up with grandparents. You know what I'm saying? Because in all actuality, quote unquote, my parents would kind of be considered grandparents.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, I have a cousin that me and her are very, very close. We grew up like sisters. But other than that, everybody around me, you know, when the nana and the grands and the papas died, family kind of, you know. So once was the holidays where everybody got together, mm-hmm. that kind of fades out.
It fades out real quick.
Yeah, so the closeness of your cousins or your aunts, it kind of diminishes. Mm-hmm. Not by choice, it's just that's what happens in life.
That's just how it happens, oddly, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so with my dad, I always just knew it was me, my mom, and my dad. Me, my mom, and my dad. And I kept that with me for forever. Yeah. You know, I never have been where I felt like I belonged outside of me, my mom, and my dad. Not to say that anyone made me feel that way, but it was planted in my head that nobody's going to love you like us. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to care about you like us. You have us, and that's it. And then you wake up one day and they're gone. Now I'm trying to learn to like you, or learn to like her, or learn to like gravitate towards my friends and their family. And it's me, it's not them.
Yeah, right.
Because I have a thing of like, people will invite me over for holidays because I can't cook. I can't cook shit. Well, I could cook some oxtails, like some curry chicken.
How you know how to cook oxtails, but you don't know how to...
But everything with me is either 0 or 100.
Okay.
I don't, the in-between, I can never get right.
Okay.
But I'll never show because I always feel like I'm intruding.
Same here.
Yeah, it's not them.
It's you.
It's me.
That's how I feel too.
Okay.
Nobody understands that though, like, because I get nervous. I've accepted invites before, right? Mm-hmm. And after a while, I just stopped accepting it. Yeah. I would and sometimes I would lie. I'd be like, yeah, I'll come. And then I would never.
Because you never show.
Never show up. Yeah. Because when I get around them, it just, everything reminds me of it. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to intrude and just make everything sad on their, with their family gathering. So I just rather stay away because
that's me.
Everything is so touchy.
That's me. That's me. And like I said, my dad, not my dad, that was my guy. That was my guy, My dad raised me tough. My mom raised me somewhat smart, Yeah. My dad was the one who, nigga, where you at? I wish I was a little softer, but I appreciate him making me the way I am because it helped me to get through everything that I had to get through going through with them.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of lost my mom in an area. I didn't move out till I was 38 years old. My father didn't want me to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was his world and he was mine.
Yeah.
And soon as I moved out, I would say like a week later, my mom stopped walking. So I moved into this house because, you know, I wanted to learn how to take care of myself, pay bills while I had them here in case if I needed to go back. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I would know how to make it on my own because I didn't, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he dogged me out. Oh, you ain't gonna make it. You gonna be back home in 2 weeks. But the whole thing is his approach was he was never the one to tell me anything nice.
Yeah.
So that was his way of discouraging me from moving. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, Daddy, I don't want to be in the basement at 40 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he didn't care long as I was there with him. But my mom had dementia. So I kind of lost my mom mentally. So my dad became the one who cooked, the one who washed my clothes, the one who I had to talk to and vent to my problems because my mom, she could try to understand until it came full blown, where she just was, my parents turned into my babies, you know. Okay. I had to change diapers, had to feed them, had to remember everything for them. You know, I have one situation that I can say, like I said, my father was a street man. He was a hustler. He worked. I mean, he always dressed really nice. And we went into the hospital. And he had a smell. And he was laying in the bed and I went to clean him up. Now you got your dad, the strong man. You know, my dad was like the jolly green giant. Mm-hmm. And he couldn't get out the bed. And I reached down and I grabbed him, you know. And I put my head down and I just said, And he said, what's wrong? I said, nothing. He said, I know. He said, but go ahead and do what you got to do. So I got the pan, I got the soap, I got the towel. And it's like, imagine you having to clean your mother's private area. Mm-hmm. And that's when I knew my jolly green giant was leaving me because he was not that type of man. Yeah. He never wanted, you know, his daughter to have to see him in that nature. But when he told me to go ahead, that's when I knew I was losing my father. God will give you the strength to go through things that you never thought you possibly could. And being here with you today, which is very honorable for you asking me, is nothing but God. Because when I had to let my mother go, that next morning I told my friend, I didn't want to live anymore because my parents were my purpose. I didn't have the guts to kill myself. I wasn't going to do that. Mm-hmm. But what am I here for?
Yeah, right.
You know, especially when anybody, and I'm not talking about the social media, I'm not talking about the Teddy Jennings, but anybody that knows Leah Easley, I don't care what other bullshit you may hear about me. The one thing they gonna say, that girl took care of her mother and father. Mm-hmm. And you know, people expect you because me, broke my neck to take care of my mother and father. And I would, if God gave them back to me again, I would do it 100 times over. Yeah. They expect you to be able to pick up and carry on. Mm. But with me, it's not a prize to pick up and carry on when you don't know how to carry on.
Yeah.
So it makes it hard.
You said something probably like a year ago. Now that you just said that, I remember you saying that you didn't realize how much you didn't know how to do on your own when they passed away. Because your father passed away first, right?
Yes.
It's been, 6 years now? 7 years?
He passed in 2017.
2017.
Yes.
Okay, so it's going on 10 years.
Yeah, and
your
Mom
mother
passed in
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Okay, I remember you saying that, and I didn't understand what you meant, right? Because everything that you just talked about, how they nurtured you and just was there for you.
Well, see, so it's like, even though it was in a tough manner, my dad was always pushing me to be better, pushing me to keep going. Yeah. And I'll never forget, I had this, this will show you how oblivious I was to life. I just knew after the funeral for my father, I was going to get to come home, sit down, take a deep breath, and process this situation.
Yeah.
So I walked in the door. My nurse was there with my mom. And I looked on the dining room table. The lights was getting ready to get cut off. The gas was getting ready to get cut off. She didn't have any diapers. She didn't have any medicine. We needed some food. I was so busy because hospice was in the house. Hospice was set up for my dad.
Yeah. So
my dad is in one room in a hospital bed and my mom's in another room in a hospital bed. So I'm running back and forth and still going to a salon. And I have to say this, I had an awesome, still do salon family. When I say they didn't waver, the salon kept going. I've had wonderful people in my life to take care of things financially for me at that time because I couldn't work. I couldn't do this. I couldn't do that. Yeah. I'm running between bedroom to bedroom. I was sleeping because when I had moved out, I always had vowed, I said, if I ever moved out, I wouldn't move far because I wanted to be able, I knew I was going to have to come home from somebody. I didn't know which one,
right? But
I knew I was going to have to come home for somebody. And I vowed that if they would never go to a home. And I have a salon, of course, and I named it Easily Done because my father there was nobody to take the legacy on. So I always wanted him to see his name in lights. So when we found out that he was dying, I went and bought a twin size mattress and I slept on the floor next to his bed, So with that being said, I'm not knowing that I'm functioning, but answering your question, I'm not knowing that. I know I'm still I'm making sure they're staying alive because honestly, I was really trying to make him stay alive,
Right.
Like we found out he had kidney failure first. So we at the doctor's office. So I'm sitting there and my dad's in the hospital bed, the doctor's right there. And he's like, well, your father has kidney failure. So I said, okay, well, what's up? What we got to do? Well, let's get it rolling.
Right.
I'm finna give him my kidney. And I said, or is there something else wrong? And he looked at my dad. I remember that after the fact. And he looked at my dad and my dad looked at him and they both told me no. We'll come to find out my father had cancer. He just didn't want to tell me.
He didn't want to tell you.
He was a 50-year smoker. So, but again, I was so focused on keeping him comfortable and keeping him alive. And I was under the misconception because he didn't have a fever. He was eating. He was doing everything. So I'm like, we're going to make it through this.
Yeah.
And the doctor told me, he said, no. He said, it's just going to be when your father's will to live is ready to end. Then I have my mom in the other room asking me, is her husband okay? So again, I never focused on, I was learning how to live without them because I was focused on trying to keep them alive.
Yeah.
Which is nothing that I have control over. You know, that's God's job. You know, that's one thing that I've had to learn, that with you or with anybody, you can reach out and touch them. Me and you can have a conversation. I can shake your hand, give you a hug, whatever, anybody. But with God, he's not a physical thing to touch.
Yeah.
You know, you have to learn, whatever way your way is, to channel in on him talking to you, you trusting in him. So I had to do a lot of self-talking. I'm like, if you could still love your parents the way that you do, and they're no longer here, you have to learn to love that man who gave you those wonderful parents. Because at the end of the day, you have to say thanks for the loan. Because he loaned them to us for whatever amount of time. I used to be angry because you would see homeless people committing crimes, people doing drugs. I don't judge. I'm a very non-judgmental person. Yeah. Hey, I'm just saying, you know, you see people that you would think, well, God, why didn't you take them?
You had to take mine.
Right. Yeah. And God, and then I said, well, maybe God got them here to allow them time to clean their act up, to get right for him. Because if you believe, we're all his children. Yeah. You know, and I remember my dad telling me, he said, baby, he said, when it's time to let me go, he said, let me go. He said, because you've had me all your life. He said, don't be selfish and let me sit there and suffer. He said, let me go. And I was trying. And we were able to hold hands. And I told him how much I adored him. I told him how much I loved him. I worshiped the ground he walked on. And he finally told me, he said, I love you. He said, I never told you that you were good enough because I never wanted you to be complacent and think you had to keep pushing. He said, you've always been good enough. He said, and me and your mother were lucky because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have lasted this long. That wore me low, you know? Yeah. And after that, shortly, he got to where he couldn't talk. And he started getting that look. I don't know how, you know, but that look. And
was it that acceptance look, like I don't want to be here look, or was it
no,
just
it was that gaze. You know, his eyes had got real glassy, hazy. He started, but they told me it was going to be a little bit of suffering in the end because he was no longer able to do dialysis because he had became too weak. Okay. And the potassium builds up in the body. And I would hear him in the room, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. So it got to the point where, because like I said, I was the one, I had abruptly stopped working. I'll never forget. We'll be here all day if I go from there. But we got everything set up. And he was in his room. And I started to notice that I was becoming scared to go in the room. Because I was scared to look at him because that wasn't my jolly green giant. Yeah. The suffering was starting to begin. Yeah. So my friends, they came over and we were playing cards. And I couldn't play. And it was like a burst of cold air went through my chest. And I got up and I went to the bathroom. And I prayed and I said, God, if you're not going to heal my father, take my father home. Because I'm going to die with my father. That's how bad it was. I felt it in my soul. Came out the bathroom, went in the dining room with my friends, and I told them, stop playing cards. Let's pray. I hadn't slept, hadn't ate. We prayed. I got on the couch. My other friend got in the chair. My other friend went home. My other friend went somewhere in the house. And I fell asleep for the first time for 4 hours. And I heard my mother cough. And instead of me running in there and checking on my mom, I went in there and checked on my dad. And he was gone. He was gone. So then I went in there to my mom. And I told her. So my mother hadn't walked since 2010, so I had to pick her up and put her in a wheelchair. And she said, take me in there. And she said, call the people. And when hospice came, they wanted to give him a bath. I told them, no, I'm going to bathe. And I bathed him. I kept bathing. And I kept bathing. I kept wiping. I kept wiping. Because it's like I couldn't get him clean enough. Mm. And then I have a sister, his daughter. And we weren't close. And I called her and she came over. And she helped. And then there goes preparing the funeral. And I'm watching my mom lose her best friend. You know. So fast forward. Now the funeral, everything's over. Now I'm trying to figure out how to take care of my mom. You know, I got to get people in play. Nurses got to, because I couldn't let her go to a home. Because my mother couldn't tell me what was wrong. She couldn't tell me what medication she needed. She could talk, but the decline of talking came in the later years. But at the beginning, but then it's like she went into a depression. So depression on top of dementia, that was really difficult. So home health care had to come in. So my mom went in the hospital. My daddy died in January. My mom went in the hospital in March. My sister got killed in April of 2017. And I had to help my nephew bury my sister, my nephews. I'm like, you kidding? So got through that. That was just me and my mom. So things are rolling. Nurses are in play. My friends are helping. Like I said, I had a village and they were amazing. Yeah. But I was mad. Because towards the end, I knew I wasn't going to get that conversation that I had with my dad. All I wanted my mom to do was say, Leah. That's it. Nothing else. She didn't have to tell me thank you. She didn't have to do any of that because I knew she couldn't. Mm-hmm. I just wanted her to know that it was me and her in the end. I didn't get that. My mom was going to the hospital so much to the point the hospital even said, if she bring her back, we're not sticking the IVs in her anymore because we can't catch a vein. But I wouldn't, when I heard that word hospice again, I wasn't ready for that. That's to me, even though I know that's not what it is. And everything that I'm saying is my experience. You know, I can't speak for, one thing I learned about when you get to talking, yeah. I'm not speaking for anyone else but Leah, you know. Yeah. But that word hospice made me feel like I was giving up on my mom. Mm-hmm. I don't care if she is 89 and can't walk. I don't care if she ain't even, hospice felt like that. I was just saying, fuck it. I ain't had that in me. And the last time when we went in the hospital, it was Valentine's Day. And they called, the doctors was like, look, there's nothing more we could do. We're going to send her home on hospice. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm going to the store to get some balloons because it was Valentine's Day to take to her. Because they were releasing her, so I was coming to bring her home. I had to sign the papers. And I seen a friend of mine in Party City. And she said, what's wrong? It looked like a ghost had hit you. And I was just like, I got to go get my mom. They're sending her home on hospice. So I had some friends and one of my nurses, because I kept my nurses. Even though the hospital had nurses, My mom had her own independent nurses that worked at the house when I was at work.
Yeah.
They went to the hospital because my mom couldn't answer any questions, and I wanted to make sure she was clean, she was fed, she was turned, she was changed. And when the doctors had questions, they had someone to answer. I didn't want to rely on them to call me. My nurse will call me if they don't know the answer.
Yeah.
And when I got there, they said my mom said she wanted a banana. And they was like, okay. They was like, because my dad's name was Cornelius. And she called him Corn.
Mm-hmm.
She said, he's sitting right there. He'll tell you. I like bananas. That happened when I wasn't there, and I wouldn't have been able to handle that because my mother died the next day. We came home that night, and I asked my nurse that morning, I said, should I go to work? She said, yeah, Mama's okay. Mama got up, ate. She changed her, sat her in the living room with a TV table, had on her cute pajamas, and my nurse took a picture of her waving at the camera. Mm-hmm. Then she called me later on that night. She said, something ain't right. I said, okay, well, give her an allergy pill. I'll be there in a minute. We had a storm came out of nowhere. And for this particular time, I did not rush to get home. Any other time I'm flying down the highway running the lights, I don't care about the police, none of that. But this particular time, I just took my time to get home. And I always drove my mother. I never cared for the hospital that was in my area. Mm-hmm. I always drove my mother and father all the way 45 minutes, way out in Chesterfield. But by the storm coming this particular night, I wasn't going to make it. So I told them to call an ambulance. When I told the nurse to give my mom her pills, come to find out, my mother was holding the pills in her mouth. She didn't even swallow. I didn't get in the ambulance that day. We rolled behind it. So she's hyperventilating. And I'm telling them she needs a steroid because she had asthma along with other things. And I'm telling them she needs a steroid shot to calm down her wheezing. I'm out there delegating, getting the head surgeon, the head doctor on the floor, blah, blah, blah. And he just came and he said, we're going to have to incubate her. I've never passed out in my life. I hit the floor. And they got me up. And he said, your mom's old. He was like, and she's tired. He said, and basically she had vomited and it set in her lungs. Mm. So he said, once we put the tube down her throat, it'll clear some of that out. He said, but what do you want us to do? I said, well, I don't want her to suffer to die, but we're not going to go through all this extreme. She was already fragile. She was already 89. But the thing is, my mom always came home. So I knew she was coming home.
She was coming, right.
And the doctor came and told me, he said, I'm sorry, but your mom's tired. And I got on top of my mother. And I laid there till her heart stopped beating. Because he told me she was dying. She never got to say Leah. I never got that. And that's all I wanted. I just wanted her to say Leah. That's it. She didn't owe me shit else. Because her birthday prior, she was sitting across from me and her sister was there. And her sister said, Leah's done a wonderful job. She said, yeah, I know. She said, I don't know where Leah is, but she's not here right now. So her sister said, that's Leah right there. Because you're my mom and I'm me. This is how. She said, Leah's not here. So I reached across the table and I said, Mama, I said, it's me. It's Leah. I'm here. I've always been here with you. And my mom looked at me. She said, I hear you talking. She said, but Leah's not here. That broke my heart. And it wasn't her fault. It was the disease. But all I wanted her to know was, I never left you. So in my heart, it made me feel like my mama thought I abandoned her and just somebody was taking care of her.
Mm-hmm.
So I was mad at God for that. I was real mad.
How long you been holding that in?
I've said it before. Mm-hmm. Not everybody understands. But I've said it. You know, one thing when it comes to my parents, I don't hold back. I don't care about no tears. I don't care about, being tough or being strong.
Mm-hmm.
That was my kryptonite.
Yeah.
So it's like a whole lot of me has, I'm trying. Like I said, I have people around that try to keep pushing me to do better, but guess what? Most of them, we're at that age. We're losing our mothers, our fathers, our loved ones. As far as of natural death stuff, so they got to carry themselves. Everybody can't carry Leah. I had 2 people to carry me, and they're gone. But I had a dream about her this year, and she was coming up the steps, and she was her younger self, walking. Her hair was long like it used to be, and I was sitting at the dining room table, and I turned my back to her, and she said, "Don't be mad at me." And she was getting ready to say she was sorry, but she didn't. She just said, "I love you." And I realized she wasn't going to say sorry because she wasn't sorry for dying, because she held on as long as she could. And she did. She gave me 49 years. She held on because I fought like hell. I fought like hell, baby. If I ain't never fought for nothing else, I fought like hell for my mother and my father. And so now, trying to learn to fight for yourself. Trying to learn how to carry on. I go through the motions.
Yeah.
And some days are better than others. I tell people, grief is something everybody goes through it at their own way. Nobody can tell you how to mourn, how to grieve. I can say God gives you the ability to wake up and put one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
With time. I didn't work for 3 months, and I wouldn't come out the house. Everybody's process is different. I just try to tell myself, don't dig yourself too deep down in that rabbit hole, because sometimes you can't get out. You'll be stuck. And at times I have. And I find myself where I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I be wanting to disappear. For real.
Yeah,
I
know.
You start to learn to fake it because, again, God grants you the ability to carry on a little bit. It's not easier, but it's easier. Won't you agree?
I agree.
Yeah. You smile one day.
Yeah.
One day you start laughing. The tears became not as much. Like, I haven't cried like this in a while. Mm-hmm. I'm not one of those ones. I don't keep myself busy to forget about it or to not think about it. I mean, I still live in the house, but that's what gives me peace. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to figure out what are my dreams now, because, again, I exhausted so much of myself in them. Now I got to figure out, what are you actually going to do? What you going to make of yourself to make them proud? Because when you think about it, my parents had to lose their parents, and they still took care of me. Yeah. So they went through these same emotions, but I never seen it. So I try to say, if they can live as many years as they've lived and lost their parents to take care of you, they want you to live a little longer too. It ain't easy. But we can't give up. Because just because we give up, that don't mean God gonna take us. We'll be sitting somewhere, in misery because we've made our own self miserable. Yeah. So it's like just putting that one foot in front of the other. That's all we got. And relying on Him. Wouldn't you agree?
That's all you need.
Yeah. You
don't realize it, and it take you a while to understand that, though, because for me, I got to the point where I felt like I was like a failure in a sense. Mm-hmm. Like not realizing that I'm waking up every day. I'm going to work, whatever it was that I was doing at the time, but that felt like nothing.
Yes.
But it's really everything.
Yes.
Yes.
Like I was the shit to my mom and daddy. I'm quite sure you was the shit to your mom and daddy. And then when you lose them, it's like, these motherfucking people really don't give two fucks about you. They do. Yeah. But nobody will ever love me.
Not like that.
I don't care how big, how small, if I fuck up, if I cuss, if I whatever. People, once their time is up with you, they go on to the next. Mm-hmm. My parents never wavered. Never wavered. And that's a feeling that's just, you'll never get that again. Mm-mm. That hurts like hell. Those two people were never going to leave me. And you know what? It was so crazy. My dad cried in my arms. And I couldn't get him to stop crying. So I called the pastor. It was one of his friends. Because my dad didn't go to church. He was too hip to go to church. He talking about, them niggas ain't nothing but a scam. But, my dad was something else, baby. You would have loved him. But he told the pastor he was weak. He was weak. He came out in his drawers. He didn't even care. He came out. It took him a while. And he finally made it to the living room. Take in mind, the living room ain't nothing but from that door to the end of that wall. But it took him forever. And the pastor asked him, he said, Jab, you okay? He said, I'm going to be okay. He said, I just need to know my baby going to be okay. He said, because she don't know the difference between hot water, cornbread, and a pancake. And he wasn't lying. But he made me that way. He didn't want me. He wanted me to, as much as he fussed, he wanted me to rely on him. And it's like, I didn't really get to mourn him because I had to jump in and for mama.
Straight to mama.
Because daddy could tell me, this is hurting, or give me this to eat. I had to figure it out. Mm-hmm. She was my true baby, you know?
Yeah.
So I didn't want to let him down because I know he wanted his wife to be okay. And I didn't want to let her down because she was an amazing mother. You know, if my mother would have been able to have all her children, it would have been 4 of us. But my mother was sickly. She lost all her children. And the doctor told my dad, he said, this is it. If this one don't make it, we done. Because the doctor said in order, they would have to let my mother go and birth the child.
Mm.
And my daddy said, we done been through this enough. And here I come. I made it. But I feel like I made it for them. You know, God gave her, all she wanted was a baby, you know, and she got her baby. So just like in the end, I want her to know her baby was there for her, and I didn't get that, and I was mad. I'm not mad anymore, but I just wish I would have got that in the end. But we don't get everything we want, do we?
Especially when it comes to this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have no control over it. That's one thing we do not have control over. You know, God, let us think that we are in control of so many things, but you don't know the day, the minute, nor the hour, nor how. The doctors get close medically.
Right, yeah.
But can't nobody tell you. When he's ready for his child to come, you got to let him go. He need him for a bigger purpose. You know, somebody told me, actually, my barber said, it gives me peace in knowing that I'm going to see him again. And that's how he carries on. I appreciate the dreams I have. Do you have dreams about did you lose your mother and your father?
Just my mother.
Okay.
I've had dreams. They haven't always been pleasant because of me.
Okay.
Though. It was because I was afraid.
Okay.
Like I couldn't face it. I didn't want to see her because, I would wake up and that reality would be back. And I talked about this briefly over the years since I've been doing this, right? And every time I would dream about it, I would just cry. Like I would be in my sleep crying. Okay. Like scared, like a little baby. You know what I mean? I would see her and it was like I was avoiding her. But at that time, I was avoiding everything about it. And it wasn't until this year I finally had a good dream.
Okay. Did she say something to you?
She just, you know how you say you saw your mom and she was a little bit younger? I had that same experience. And she didn't say anything, but she just hugged me. Like, because I don't have many pictures of my mom, so I don't know what she looked like when she was a little bit younger. Okay. But I can imagine that was, that was her. And she just hugged me. And I finally woke up not feeling so heavy, right? I didn't wake up crying, but it still was so heavy on me. I was just like, damn. Like I feel myself getting better, but it still hurts so bad. Yeah. Because it's my mom. I was mad at myself because why am I afraid to see her? People say, if you dream about them, that mean they trying to see you and everything. So I was battling with myself. Okay. Like why am I scared to see the person that I'm hurting so bad over? Right. And I couldn't understand it. And nobody around me understood it either. So I've been battling. I'm still battling with it. We'll always. Yeah. That's another thing I come to grips with. It's going to always be there. We love them so, They belong to me. I belong to them. Yeah. It's just, like I said, I looked at them and they carried on. So I got to try to figure it out. And I try not to burden my friends. Yeah. But it's like we all kind of walk in the same walk,
we all got a different heartbeat, but we still beat the same when it comes to losing the ones that you love,
Yeah.
And some people, it's a husband or a wife or a child, It's just, you wonder like, well, because I started thinking, did I not do enough?
Exactly. Right.
And then it was like, baby, you're not God. It wasn't no more for you to do.
Yeah.
He had to take him because you was finna go with him. That's just how much I exhausted, trying to keep them here. Because I've been afraid to be alone. I'm used to them. I'll eat my mother couldn't offer me anything, but she still gave me the world just laying in that bed. She couldn't buy me a Christmas card. She didn't know what my birthday was. She didn't know none of that. But I had got to the point I made every time I walked in that door, I went in there and kissed her 1,000,000 times because I knew one day I wasn't going to never get to kiss her again.
Yeah.
So that not getting that Leah is the only thing that I could say that's really my anger. I wanted that. And I felt like I should have got that. But evidently that wasn't meant for me to have. It's like you got to psych yourself out. Sometimes. Don't you agree?
Sometimes you do. And it's the hardest thing ever because it's a harsh reality that you don't want to face.
Yes.
Because it's really the truth.
It is.
But it feels so bad knowing that that's the truth.
Yeah.
I felt the same way because I was in school when my mother was sick. So I was in Minnesota, Louisiana. Then I moved here.
Okay.
And when I moved here is when it got bad.
Okay.
But she didn't tell me. Nobody told me.
So they wanted you to finish what you were doing. But now were you upset about that?
She passed the week before my graduation. She told me, she was like, I'm going to be there no matter what.
She was there.
I don't feel like it, though.
But she was there. I promise you she was.
Sometimes I just be mad because I missed out on all that time.
Speaking from, I ain't a parent, but knowing that my father knew he was dying, they know that we're going to stop our lives for them.
Yeah.
And she knew that you were graduating college, correct? She didn't want you to stop your life for her.
I know she did.
That's that unselfish love that we'll never get from nobody else. So yeah, I get you being mad, but trust me, I totally get you. I like it. But you also got to be thankful that you didn't have a selfish mom. She wanted you to, she's smiling. I mean, look at all that you've accomplished so far. And maybe that would have been, it would have held you back some. Because you know what I had to learn? A friend told me. She said, because everybody used to always say, oh, Leah, you belong out of town. You need to move. And that's a dream of mine. And I said that I would never leave because I knew they didn't have anybody else.
Yeah.
Again, that was my choice. I could have left. I could have left and thought that and been whatever I thought that I was going to be. But in my heart and in my soul, I wouldn't have had peace. Because I know that they needed me.
Right.
Yeah.
So
we have choices. Some of us. And sometimes you know about them. So I don't get, it's scary now because like I said, I'm 51. Ooh, that ain't young. So you got to try to compete with everybody else. And it's like, how do you get back out here in the race of becoming whatever it is that I need to become. And I missed out on a lot of years. But those were the years I chose to miss out on because I chose to be there to take care of them. And I don't regret it. But it's like figuring my way now. That's what's even scarier. Because it's like you want to take a leap, but I don't have a mother. I'm not going to say a person or people, but I don't have a mother or a father that if I fuck up, I know they're coming.
Yeah.
At the drop of a dime.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to talk about me later on, but they coming. You know, like I said, everybody else got their own life. Ain't nobody responsible for Leah.
Mm-hmm.
Leah's responsible for Leah. And Leah is scared to death to fuck up because I know I don't have those two people who were never going to waver. You know, they gave it all for me. They exhausted themselves for me. So I'm proud to say I exhausted myself for them. Now, I'm trying to pick the little pieces of energy back up to put them in myself. I'm not doing very well, though, by the way, but I pray a lot, you know, and ask God to try to help me find my way. Because it's like at 21, I knew. Like I said, I was sitting on the porch with my dad. And at 21, I knew that I was never going to move far. Mm-hmm. When I moved out at 38, I could literally drive to their house in 2 minutes and jog in 12. I knew if I got a salon, I was going to name it Easily Done so my father could see his name in lights. And like I said, they would never go to a home. I knew that at 21. Now I'm 51 and I don't have a fucking clue. I'm just going to be honest, I don't. And it's like, I got to figure it out some way, somehow. It ain't going to just fall out the sky like I thought it was.
Yeah.
I remember, let me tell you something funny. Remember Tom and Jerry? Mm-hmm. Remember when the people would die, they would come out that little spirit, that little ghost thing would come. Yeah. Do you know I thought my daddy was going to do that?
Why?
I thought that was real.
You thought that was real?
I thought he was going to come up out the floor or something and say, okay, baby, this is what we finna do next. It never happened. So, you know, figuring it out along the way, I guess. Just putting that one foot in front of the other. Some days it's a good foot and some days it's not. Mm-hmm. You know, like I said, I try not to let myself stay there when it's a bad day. Yeah. But I definitely know when it's a bad day because I just don't even want to talk.
Just there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did it take you a while to figure out what those bad days are? Mm-mm. Like actually? Mm-mm. No?
No. Like Father's Day's not that bad anymore. Mm-hmm. But Mother's Day, I can't be on social media. Yeah. I seen a girl walking down the street with her mom, and they had to cross the street. And she reached out and grabbed her mom's hand. I bust out crying. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't be going to see no motherfucker with no mom. Yeah. I'm happy, you know. I'm happy for people, and I tell people, love on as long as you can. Yeah. But I ain't ready.
Same. Every time I see it, no matter where I'm at, it's just, it's like somebody stabbing you in the stomach. Yeah. That's how I feel.
Yeah, it does. But also, too, we still got to be grateful, though. I try to tell myself because you had a great mom, right? Mm-hmm. And she gave you how many years?
24.
Some people don't even get that. Mm-hmm. So we got to be grateful in that time of the loan. It's just hard being grateful when you're used to that one, you know? Mm-hmm. For me, those two.
I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. All we can do is keep trying. That's all we're doing is trying.
Yep.
and rely on him.
Mm-hmm.
My thing with God is I'm trying to learn to hear him. Because, like you said it best. That's all we need. But I'm learning to hear him.
Yeah.
Because that's who's going to tell me.
Mm-hmm.
I want him. I don't, what is it? Like, because, you could tell yourself shit too.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to learn the distinction between God is telling me and Leah's telling me.
That's a hard one.
Yes, it is.
That is a hard one.
Yes, it is.
I always block out God. I'll be honest with you.
Why?
Because because I don't know if it's like you just said. I don't know if it's me or if it's coming from him. I'm not blocking it out intentionally, but
Okay.
I be confused all the time.
Now, when I can't say when you're in the process of doing something, if it all comes together smoothly, I feel that's of God.
Yeah.
But when you have all these, when we try to force things and it's just not coming together.
Yeah.
Because one thing I have realized, you could keep asking God for something. You could keep asking him and he gonna go and let you get it.
Mm-hmm.
Now the shit that come with it, well, you wanted it.
He ain't gonna tell you that.
Yeah. I tried to get you to leave that alone, or I tried to block that, or you see it didn't come together, but you jumped over that and you finagled a way to make it come together. So now you got to deal with the repercussions, because anything that we do comes with repercussions, whether they good or they bad.
Right.
But I've realized if it's smooth, it's usually of him.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not, and if it's a bunch of confusion, it's not.
It's not too.
Yeah.
So I'm victim of knowing it's not and still trying to make it
all
work.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Learned that lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Yeah, because we be wanting what we want. Us as human people, we want what we want.
Yeah.
You said no, guess what? I'm going to get it anyway. Then when all the trouble happened, you sitting there looking like, well, you wanted it, so I gave it to you.
That lesson is a motherfucker.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's what life is. That's what life is. Lessons and learning from them and growing,
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to be better.
Yeah.
And I get mad at myself because it's like, I feel like I should be better. I should be more. I should have this. I should be doing that. I just go in the house and close the door. That's my safe place.
Me too. Yeah. I stay in the house if I don't gotta, and I work from home too. So it's like,
I'm really an introvert, know, and especially since after my parents. Now, before, I was ready to take on the world. Now, I'm just going to go home.
Yeah.
Go home.
It's the safest place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel peace at home. Mm-hmm. But like I said, it's just, but you gotta, if you want more, you gotta get out there and deal with the world.
Right.
But that world is scary.
Mm-hmm.
I used to think I could do all type of shit when I had my mom and dad, because my daddy, he really gonna fix it.
Yeah.
My mama, she gonna tell me, well, Leah, don't do that anymore. She was real sophisticated, she was a RN. She was, they were gonna save me. There's no saviors there anymore but the man above, And I also wondered, I said, that God kind of punished me because it felt like I loved my parents more than him. And I'm going to be honest, I did. Because guess what? I could touch him, I could feel him, I could talk to him.
That makes sense. I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's like, God, you gave me these wonderful people. God broke the mold when he made mine. I don't know about you, but my mama was killing your mamas. Yeah. And my daddy out, he killing every daddy out here. But it's like I said, now trying to figure out, okay, God, could you just let me know it's you? Yeah. And I don't want to think it's me. That's the hardest fight we're trying to carry on. Yeah, I mean, I've gotten past the point where I understand that it was their time. We all got a time. Yeah. I was just blessed to have mine a little longer. But Now it's my time. My last scariest thing is it's like now, who's gonna bury me? I've said, I don't want to live to where somebody has to take care of me, because that's a lot. That's a lot, and everybody's not going to give up their life.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be. My parents weren't a burden. It was hard. And I had days where I was like, this shit getting on my nerves. But it would be days when I didn't bathe, but I made sure my mama got a bath. She got a meal. She was changed several times a day. She looked out the window. I talked to her, laughed with her. You know, my mama was well taken care of in the end. Oh, my God. If I ain't take a bath that day, it didn't matter about me. I wasn't going out the house no way. But long as she ain't miss a bath. And that's turning, and, you know, she couldn't get out the bed, you know. And like I said, it's just, I know how much I put off into it. I don't have a child. I don't have my own flesh and blood. I don't want anybody to mistreat me. So when it's my time to go.
I think about that too.
Yeah. And I will be buried alone. You know, my dad was in the Air Force, so they went to Jefferson Barracks.
Okay.
I said when I win the lottery, I'm going to go out there and have a meeting and give a very large donation. You're going to put me on top of them two people.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to go nowhere else. That's where I belong.
Yeah.
On top of it. That's it.
What message do you have for people out there that's grieving?
Take your time. Give yourself grace. That's what we don't do. You'll never get over it. And you'll never get over it. And it's not that it becomes easy.
Yeah.
It's just life, little days make you be able to carry on a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's not that the pain goes away, because it never does. But it's something about how God works this timetable with life that, again, you go from crying every day to one day you just don't cry. You might cry 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
You might cry a whole month. You're going to cry. A pin can fall on the ground and you might think of your mother or your father or your child or your husband, your wife, whomever it may be. But that time just, if you find yourself, like, I can't believe it's 2 years.
Yeah.
Now when I go to the salon, I have good days. I can talk. I wouldn't talk to them people for nothing in the world. You know, now I'll stay outside a little bit longer than when I used to. You know, I'm just starting to slowly, it's turtle slow.
Yeah.
But I'm slowly incorporating little bitty things.
You see it.
Yeah. Because I know that they would be disappointed in me if I just...
Right.
Yeah. The legacy got to live on some kind of way.
Right.
You know, and I believe that our loved ones are up there cheering for us. I don't think anybody would want to go. But that's the cycle of life. And I just feel like people rush themselves, or they listen to what everybody else tells. Nobody can tell you how to grieve. Nobody. That's your own timetable. That's your own emotions, your own feelings. All I say is just try not to let yourself stay there.
Yeah.
That's it. And don't run from it. Because it's going to catch up with you. And you know what? I hate to say it, but some people's grieving I feel like is, what's my word? They know they probably could have did a little bit better by whom they've ever lost. Am I making sense?
Yeah, you making sense.
You know, some people, guilt.
Yeah.
Guilt is a different type of hurt. I've never felt that, but I've heard of people. And once they finally admitted it, then the process of slowly, turtle steps, snail steps of healing can begin. Sometimes things be within that we don't want people to know, which is fine. Everybody don't need to know your business. But I know for some people, the grieving is guilt. So they're basically taking themselves through turmoil. You know, when you have to just, you know, we always say ask God for forgiveness, but we got to learn to forgive ourselves in certain situations.
That's where it starts.
Yep. And, you know, finding people that you can surround yourself with to just, sometimes you just want to talk. You don't need I don't need you to reply back. I don't need you to solve my problem.
Yeah, exactly.
But I just might need to vent.
Just be there.
Yeah. I might need to cry right quick. Yeah. And then we'll find something to laugh about and carry on.
You just need that moment. Just that small little moment to get it out.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. But, and keep that man above with you. You know, I tell people the anger part, that's natural. God knows. God knows you mad, you're angry, you're mad, you're sad, you're this. And be careful with the coping mechanisms you choose to carry you through your grieving process.
100%.
Because I'm going to tell you, I done dug myself in a bad hole. Shopping. That's, I was doing that anyway, but man, my daddy up there shaking his head. I need him to send me some money so I can pay off these credit card bills. Yeah. But that was my coping mechanism. It was. You know, people choose, everybody uses something to cope.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I felt mine wasn't that bad because it wasn't harming me.
Shit,
I'm broke. Oh, yeah, I'm probably a millionaire worth with clothes, shoes, jewelry, coats, all that. You got some money? I ain't got no money. Yeah. But that was my coping mechanism.
I understand that. Yeah.
So be careful in what you choose to use to cope with, because I was constantly just buying. It wasn't bringing them back. Yeah. But now I'm alive, stuck in a situation. You know. He gonna bring me some money though. My daddy gonna send me some money.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. I had a dream. He had me a box. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know what a box is yet. But,
you ain't found it yet.
Well, when he came to the front door, he handed me the box. I sat the box down right by the front door. And I was so busy hugging him and telling him how much I loved him. I never opened the box. So I got a box. Somewhere waiting on me.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what else he did? He was on because I picked him up from the hospital, and I always wanted a Bentley, right? I wanted a Bentley really, really bad. So we went out there to the Chesterfield when they had the Bentley and Rolls Royce dealership. And we were walking through, and he was on his little cane, and he was moving slow. And he said, the sign clearly says, do not lean or sit on the vehicles. You know, you're just supposed to look at them. For whatever reason, nobody came out on the showroom floor. Nobody. And I was looking at the Bentley. He was looking at the Rolls Royce. I said, what you think about this right here? He said, yeah, that's all right. He said, but this right here, it was the Wraith. He said, that is what you need right here. Yeah. And so we were leaving out, and the salesman, well, the man working the show, your salesman, he was like, thanks for coming. My daddy leaning all on these people's car and everything. He didn't say a word when he finally seen him, when we were leaving out. And my daddy says, the man says, see you later. My daddy said, no, we're going to see you real soon. And he was playing the lottery on his deathbed to try to win his baby's dream car. And, you know, we used to just hold the phone. Me and my best friend had bought him an iPhone.
Okay.
And so we would just FaceTime, and we just phone propped up, and I wouldn't be saying nothing. But this one particular day, this was October. This was right before he died. He said, baby, I said, Dad, did you play the lottery? I said, because I need my car. He said, baby, I got something to tell you. He said, I probably won't physically be around to see you get your dream car. He said, but you're going to get your car. He said, and all your dreams going to come true. Just hold on. Mm-hmm. So I would say to anybody, you got those little bitty things that you try to hold on to keep you floating along. You know? Yeah. You hold it. If it's a smell of a dinner, if it's a smell of a perfume, cologne, if it's a favorite food, just, you got those little memories. That's why they're memories, you know? Mm-hmm. And you use those to try to carry on, because one thing, time moving fast. And we don't know how long we got. Yeah. So we got to try to make the best of it as much as we can while we got it. That's it. I ain't no pro at this shit. I'm terrible. Mm. But I'm trying.
We all try.
Yeah, I'm trying.
We all try.
Well, you know, some people make you think they got it together.
Oh yeah, but that's a facade. That's.
I ain't got it together.
Mm-hmm. I don't either.
Mm-mm. Yeah. Don't let the shit fool you. I'm fucked up.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
And you know what? I thought I was going to get a teardrop. It almost came, but you sucked that motherfucker back in, though. You did. You did.
I got all my crying out for the week.
Okay, so you did it all week long. Yeah. Okay, see, I didn't cry any. Yeah. Oh, I was at home in the shower talking to myself the other day.
See how that works, though? Earlier you were saying that you was nervous leading up to this and you got all of yours out. I was, because this is my first guest in a very long time. Okay. Yeah. So, and I try to, I don't try to make my guests, the episodes about me as much. So I try to get it out because I'm emotional. Really? Yeah. What's your sign? Leo. We fire signs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we emotional to a degree. So I've been needing to cry too. It's like you said, it's been a while, so I was like, I got to get it out. So I got it out. Mm-hmm. So I just been in the house all week working and crying. Yep. It's okay. And laying on the couch. Yeah. But yeah, I appreciate you. Yeah. For real. I thank you. Thank you. Absolutely. You're doing a great job. Glad we were able to make this happen finally. Yeah. So thank you so much. You're welcome. You're welcome. Just make it look good, I got you. You don't like it. Look, I believe so. It was well needed. It was a great conversation. I prayed before we started, and everything about me when I talk, I always try to make it organic. I ain't gonna tell you no tales, and I ain't. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. How you doing now? I'm cool. You cool? I'm hungry. I am too, though.